Hey there, welcome to the Ripple Wyckoff technical analysis session. And Ripple is getting very close to a rebound point. Let's see whether that's going to happen and by when latest. Here, we're looking at the weekly chart as usual. So there are two big boxes over here in addition to a Wyckoff analysis. If you're into candlesticks pattern analysis, you would call these two bull flag and a bear flag. So the blue flag, obviously the price broke out during end of June and shot up to where it was during mid of July, and that has developed kind of an uptrend. That's where the bearish flag or bear flag is. And as of now, the price this week has come to a point where it's getting very close to the bottom edge of this upward channel or the bear flag. So there are two different opinions. One, the bearish team would say it's time for the price to fall outside of this bear flag because it should happen that way. The other group of people, or the bulls team, would say no, it's going to rebound because there is double support over here. Why double support? First is the bottom edge of the channel. Second is this key level of $2.7 around that level. So when the price comes down, it's going to hit these two support levels over here. So it's a critical moment that whether the price is going to fall outside of this upward channel. If it does, that means it's going to take a longer while to climb up compared to staying within the channel. That's point one. Second point, if it doesn't fall outside of this box, look at this triangle over here. So between the 3.05 blue key level and the bottom edge of this upward channel box, here where they cross is around mid-September. So in 2 weeks time, give and take, the price has to decide, is it going to fall outside of the box, or is it going to go up and show us as at least a second test? So this, I'm going to move it closer to the purple area or key level. This one, for the blue scenario, the LPSY has been confirmed. I would say, as of now, let's put it this way. And so here's the thing. So this, if it really comes out and continue within this upward trend box, once it's going to test this purple, it also breaks the theory or the hypothesis of the blue scenario, because after upwards of the distribution, there shouldn't be any more peaks if we stick very strict to the textbook definition. However, if it is the yellow scenario that has been playing out, then that's only where the second test or an upthrust would be. So it's a very tricky scenario. However, as of this moment, I'm still inclined to think it's the blue scenario that we are going through. That's why I put in, or say, this should be an LPSY now. That's why I removed the question mark. And the price is really coming down to show us a sign of weakness. The sign of weakness for the yellow scenario is higher than that of the blue scenario, because the blue, if I were to pick a level, that should be somewhere around here, around the green key level of 2.45, because that's where the sign of weakness was back in February this year when the price came down from the upthrust. So this is the big picture scenario. While it may rebound from this double or dual support, don't be surprised that it's only going to show us a little peak, meaning another LPSY over there, at around the blue key level of $3 or 3.05, depending on how precise you like. It's always a range. When I say key level, it's not just one single number. So there's potential it's coming up for LPSY, meaning rebounding next week, and then eventually, even if it successfully trades sideways, the bulls continue to defend along this bottom edge. The decision has to come by mid-September. Either it goes up for a higher test, or it eventually comes down back to the worst case scenario, accumulation cycle. So how deep it is. We started late last year, within the white box, the long-term playground zone. So that was a level below 68 cents. That's a very, very tragic scenario. I hope that won't happen, given the adoption of Ripple and the positivity that it gets over this year. I hope it's going to accumulate at a higher level above this white box, but we can't be too optimistic, because this a track starting 2017, only the very crazy period where the peak happened during the distribution cycle, the price went outside of this box. Both accumulation period back in 2018 all the way to 2021, as well as 2022 to end of last year, were trading along this line. You may say, or we may argue, that now that all the litigations or fights with the SEC or whatever regulators is gone, Ripple's potential would be higher. Yeah, that I don't disagree, just that how high is the potential? If we say the bottom of it would be at least around the peak of the last distribution cycle back in 2021, that's still at around $1.20. So that's the level we are talking about, even if it's like a catered scenario, all the positivity. So it's already more than double that of the accumulation low over there, almost four times actually. If we go to the very low, the midpoint, it's around 2.5 to 3 times. So let's see how far this accumulation would go, this selling climax, where it ends. Whether it ends around this, let me change this, I don't want to mix up with the other numbers. I change it to purple, so we'll know we have discussed about this, whether the selling climax will come to this level at around $1.20, or is it going to go all the way back to the long-term playground zone. So that's the interesting part about Ripple in terms of the big picture. So in short, let's hope it rebound and then demonstrate some form of upward momentum, but now the chance is just 50-50. It's kind of getting more likely to come to the downside. Let's go to the daily as well. So here we're seeing a squeeze happening. So this, let me shut down the other line so it's easier for you. The purple has gone inside the orange. That means a squeeze is happening. So when a squeeze happens, look at what happened here. The price is going to shoot to either upside or downside. Remember, squeeze doesn't show us which side it is going. It's going to show us or tell us a crazy price move is coming. So last round, when the squeeze happened, the squeeze lasted for 43 days, a month and a half almost, before the actual price surge happened. Now we have entered the squeeze for 20 days, half of what we have gone through during June to early July. So, well, that doesn't mean it can't happen. The squeeze or the release of the force from the squeeze will happen anytime from now. If it really comes to the downside, let me switch back on the lines. That's where the support is going to be tested. So today, where the price has gone, is already testing this support I mentioned earlier. So hopefully it is going to find support and stay up there. And last week, if you were with me, you would remember these yellow lines over here. I shared that the price has entered a pennant. So meaning it has to break out sometime very soon. And indeed, yesterday it broke outside of the pennant. So this pennant, this angle over here, I said by latest the first week of September this breakout will happen. And now that it has already happened, I can take out this and just focus on these two support lines over here. So right now we're seeing the bears are really testing this support of the upward channel box. If they are successful in pushing the price towards the horizontal light blue key level at around $2.70 over here, that will realize what I mentioned just now, that the price, even it continues to trade between the two blue levels, 3.05 and 2.7, that bottom edge over here will become a resistance, and that's going to slow down the price surge even if it's really getting to another high over here. Just that, remember, this looks like it's coming down anyway. So the accumulation last time for daily time frame from April to July, that was between the green and the yellow level, 2.05 to 2.45. So if it really comes down, eventually show us a selling climax. Hopefully it's not as deep as what happened back in early April. That's 1.8 back then. I hope the worst case it stays above the yellow key level and then start accumulating and bounce up again. But let's prepare for the worst always, while hoping it continues to go along with the upward channel. Just prepare for a drop from that point, because that's going to be quite fierce, honestly, if it's going to get to the yellow level. So finger crossed. Have a good weekend, everyone. I have more sessions to come. That's before my weekend.